This episode of Let's Talk Jinx will not be too particularly long, because even though there's a lot of changes to go over in the patch 14.1 notes, the one thing that is funny is champion-wise, there's only one champion changes, and it's to Hui. But there are some item changes we could talk about regarding marksman, and since Jinx is a marksman, why not? Depending on who you are, how you play Jinx, of course, one of the things you might actually be impactful to your build is the removal of Gale Force. Now remember, some of these, like Mythic Items, have only existed for like the last 2 or 3 years. The game's existed for like a good 10 years. So, people, it'll be okay. Yeah, I'm not saying it's not going to be rough though, but it'll be okay. These champions used to function all the time before Mythic Items were even a thing. We'll find the right build path if you were a Gale Force like main person. Also, Rage Knife is gone too, but I don't know many Jinx players that honestly were building that. There is this new item called Terminus. It is an on-hit item though, so I don't, unless you're doing like an on-hit Jinx build, you need some mixed damage for some reason. Maybe your whole team is like AD, and even though you're the AD carry, it's expected that you somehow bring magic damage to the party. That could be an item to look into. Most of the changes to a lot of these items, however, were things like cost. Like Infinity Edge's cost is going like down by 100, but also that's because its crit strike damage is also going down by 5%. So there's certain changes like that that will have to factor into like the mathematics of it. But for the most part, outside of those 2 items being removed, most other items are not only in the game, but there are no more mythic items, which if you're a newer player, and so all you've known is mythic items, the system was you can only build 1 mythic item, and then you have to build other legendary items and stuff like that. Pre-mythic, but also before, there were no mythics. You could just build you could build 7. If Infinity Edge was a mythic item, you could build 6 Infinity Edges. It wouldn't be a good idea in any range or optimability, but it would be there, and it was an option, and you could do it. You could build items from other stuff. You could build Trinity Force into Infinity Edge. That's what, think like Yasuo at one point, I think it was like season 4 though, so probably outdated by now, used to do. So that there's these things that we couldn't do anymore because of mythic items and the limitations that are now opened back up. So I'm going to look forward, especially in like next week's video and stuff, to really kind of conversate about what do you think about a Jinx build. We had that conversation back in December like a little bit, but it was still based off of kind of if mythic items were a thing or you can only build 1. If you can build across the board again like we used to be able to do for years prior, do you guys think that maybe we shuffle things up even more? Gale Force was actually maybe a really important item, so now with it gone, we need to pull something like a Trinity Force or something that when we hit people give us some more mobility because we don't have the Gale Force. Now personally, I was more of a Kraken Slayer kind of guy anyways. I was like, just get me to a tower, I'll knock it down instead of survivability. But who knows, like different people, different strokes, Guardian's Angel, for example, has some changes in costs. Like a lot of these items, like I'm saying, why I'm not going over item by item is A, video would suddenly be insanely long, but B, a big part of it is most of the effects and stuff were not changed. It's mainly like the effects of like how much attack speed does it give, or how much crit strike does it give, or what is the cost of the item. That's what's changed. Oh yeah, and Baron Nasher is being changed. He looks like a purple version of Perfect Chaos from Sonic Adventure, by the way. Just go watch the opening cutscene, you'll know what I mean. Honorable mention, of course, that if you like starting items, Doran's Blade, for example, it's what Jinx tends to build. The lifesteal, it now has lifesteal, that's a new matter of fact, and it's going to be 3.5%, and it's removing the Omnivamp, actually, which is only like 2.5%. It's going to be 0. There's no Omnivamp anymore. Now, personally, I'm going to be honest, I don't build starting items ever since they made starting components in items that I want expensive under that first 500 gold, but I'm not saying that that's what everybody should do. That's just what I like doing. So if the lane goes wrong and I don't get as much gold as I usually would like to get, I'm already part way towards my first item anyways. But honestly, this is the way to go because the lifesteal to stay in a lane if you're getting bullied. And of course, as always, honorable mention to the skins coming out: Dragonmancer Kassadin, Dragonmancer Rakan, Dragonmancer Fiora, Dragonmancer Vayne, and Dragonmancer Rakan Prestige Edition. In which case, in terms of the bottom lane, you might see some Vaynes and Rakans in your game, because Vayne, of course, is another AD carry, so the Jinx Vayne matchup, think about that a bit. And Rakan is a support, so you might see them in your games both on your team and on the enemy team, as people are possibly going to be grinding out, especially for this Prestige Edition of the skin. That's all from this video from me. So really kind of light on Jinx exact stuff, but obviously with the item changes and experimenting with that, we're gonna have to see how that kind of plays out in the coming weeks. As the ranked season officially starts, it is January 10th. Honor has been reset. So if you're someone that has a PvE, remember you can't access it until you hit Honor level 3. So you're gonna wanna grind out some Honor to get back on the PvE at some point. Because remember, Jinx is getting a T1 skin later this year. Thank you so much for watching this video. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that bell notification, the actual subscribe button. But I don't know which video will be next. because I've had a lot of kinks. So till next time, take care. ggGetJinxed. Thank you for watching, and enjoy pizza responsibly.